had a couple questions about section 6.7 in chapter 6, Geospatial Lab 6.1, so I thought I'd walk you through these last couple steps. I'm starting page 224, section 6.7, spatial analysis, putting it all together in QGIS. I'm going to start with number 1. I've already removed the buffer layer and the intersection layers from the layers panel, so you will not see them there. Well, I haven't removed it, I just hit it. I'll actually remove it. Okay, for this last section, this is again number 1 on 224, you'll be applying the analysis techniques of this lab to answer some questions concerning the state capital of California. First, build a query of the Cal Structures layer, so let's turn that back on. Just turn these off real quick. Well, we'll leave them on. Cal Structures layer that where the FC code field is equal to 8306. So we are going to Properties. Remember to click on Source and Query Builder, FC code. This is a classification code for the state capital. If we turn off our other layers, or I could have just moved it to the top, we'll see our state capital. There will be only one point of the entire layer that matches this query. So next, export that single layer to a point, number 2, next, export that single point into its own layer as an Esri shapefile and call that layer SC. So we're exporting from the Cal Structures. We're going to right-click Export, Save Features As. Make sure you know where you're saving it. I'm going to call it SC for state capital. I'm also calling it number 2 because I think I have another one saved somewhere. Then I'll click Save. Everything else we leave as a default. And then you'll see it added right here. Okay, number 3 on page 225. Next, we'll want to know in what county. Let me turn off Cal Structures. We'll want to know in what county that point representing the state capitol building is. So we can use the intersection tool to do this by intersecting the SC layer and the Cal bounds layer. So they don't give you a lot of information on this. Remember, we can turn the pages back to section 6.4. Hang on. Which section? Nope, section 6.5. And we can find that intersection tool from our vector pull-down menu. And we want geoprocessing tools, intersection. So I'm just doing these steps by going back into 6.5 and replacing the features. So our input layer is the one that's doing the intersecting, and the overlay layer, which is in the book called the intersection layer, we want it to be the boundary layer. This is a layer with which the SC, the state capital, will be intersecting. So this is creating a temporary layer. We're going to leave it as a temporary layer for now and run. So we can open our attribute table. We're scrolling to the right until we find the county name. Next, that'll give you the answer to 6.13. Question 6.13 on page 225. On number 4, we want to know something about the emergency facilities within 5 miles of the state capital. Create a 5-mile buffer, and it gives us the equivalent in meters using the 30 segments around the state capital. So, for that, we're going back to, again, I'm just going back to section 6.6 to see that buffer. Help menu, we'll go to Vector, Geoprocessing, Buffer. We want our input layer to be the state capital. Our distance in meters, it tells us on page 225 is 8046.72 meters. We want our segments to be 15 or 30. We're only going to have one buffer, but we'll leave that as a temporary layer too. Okay. You can see that, and again, I'm just going to pull it down below all of my points data. So then it wants you to select all the hospitals within that 5-mile buffer. So again, sticking with 6.6, using those research tools. Select by location. What do I want first? We're doing hospitals first. Now we're seeing all the selected hospitals. We can go to the attribute table, and we can go to show selected values to get the number. And then you would do the same thing with the fire stations. Change that, pull that selection tool from the research tools, but instead of hospitals, we would, oops, not hospitals, we'd set it to fire stations. And I am not going to show you the answer to that one and make you do that on your own. But this is how you would set it up. You would hit run, and then you would see those features selected. And that will give you the answer to question 16.5.